find this. Happy Friday night. Welcome to my kitchen. We are going to make chocolate cake. Okay, so just going to dive right into it. 225 grams of cake flour. If it has to be cake flour, I will mention. If you like that crumbly cake where it just melts in your mouth, you want to use cake flours. Cake flour. Sometimes you can get away with it, and I won't say you have to, but this is a must. So we have 225 grams of cake flour. The recipe will be listed. 60 grams of unsweetened cocoa powder. It has to be unsweetened. 270 grams of sugar right here. I have it all measured out. And as I said, use a scale. I have both scales, but I prefer the digital ones. And I don't know where my glasses are at my hand. I'm going to get a teaspoon so I can measure my baking powder and baking soda. And then this puppy. And here's what I've been doing. I have been making my cakes and pouring them into my cookie sheet with parchment paper. And then I just roll it and it becomes a roll. Oh my God. Heaven. Just something different. So you can use the same recipe and just do a whole other thing to it. We're going to start with beating our 3 eggs, okay? 3 eggs and sugar. That's always a good way to start a key. If you come up on a recipe and you don't know how to go about it and there's no description, always the best way to go about it, why can't I speak today, is sanding your sugar, which means adding your eggs and sugar and then butter and just sanding it, getting it nice and fluffy, right? So we have 3 eggs, and we're gonna whisk in the sugar and then the butter, which is melted. This recipe also calls for 2 heaping tablespoons of hot coffee, okay? So we're gonna get the butter. I don't know what to tell you guys with my tongue today. It's not. My mouth does not want to cooperate. My tongue is not cooperating. Okay, now to this, and I'll put my fingers through it in case I have a big piece of sugar. We're just going to crumble it. To this, we're going to add 270 grams of sugar, right? And you can whisk it. I like to do this with the sugar. Pour that into the eggs. Get that going. There. Actually, I'm going to leave this all here. Hope you're all doing well. Hello from Australia. If YouTube is watching, whenever you're watching, I am live on YouTube and Instagram. We also need milk for this recipe. Okay, so that's ready to go. We're just going to get that going. Whip it really well. And cheers. Love you guys. Happy Friday night. I have some people coming over for dinner. It's a casual dinner. I've been cooking. Yummy, yummy food. You need baking powder, baking soda, pinch of salt, coffee, flour, cocoa, butter, milk. That's it. Is there more we can put in there? That looks really good. Now, know that you always have to add your flour, dry ingredients, and wet ingredients in steps. So I'm going to add my cocoa, which is 60 grams of cocoa unsweetened, to my cake flour, 225 grams, and the recipe will be on YouTube. Get that in there. And then this will be beautifully added. Ooh, I like to sift it in to my wet. you gotta sift it. And guess what? I'm gonna add my tip in my butter dish. Why not? And I don't like this sifter. That just takes too darn long. I like this one more. Sift in my dry. This is gonna add all that air into your cake and make it perfection, where it just falls apart on you and you go, oh my God, how was this cake made? About a third of it goes in, right? And then I'm going to put that right there. And I will add a drizzle of my butter, which is 165 grams of butter, to that right before I started. And I'm gonna start it really slow. Now guess what? I have a little trick for you guys. When you wanna start, you've seen videos where they go start it on slow. The one is even fast. So I hold it right in between one and starting point, and it goes slower. Watch this. This is in between. This is one. Just kind of hold it. Don't overmix it. You don't want the flour to be completely mixed in, okay? Because what'll happen, I know this is a schlep, and I'm kooky about this, so just do it this way. I put it right back in the butter. We're gonna do this in 3 steps. This is the flour and cocoa. Look, just a little bit more is left, right? And then here is where I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of my hot. This is 1 tablespoon. And this is 2 tablespoons. 3 teaspoons is 1 tablespoon. God, all these little things I have in my brain. I don't know where it comes from and how I keep it there, but it's there. And then I'm going to add a rest of my butter. Don't forget, I still have my milk. So the last, we're almost at the end of this. Holy moly. The last bit of dry ingredients is going to be blended in with the milk, and we're done. How simple was that? Again, go slow. Really slow. You just don't want it to get out of your bowl. And I have one of those bowl things, the covers that'll cover the sides. Whatever, I never remember to use it. Come on, people, real kitchen. I don't have time to bring out all of those. Now we're going to add our baking powder and salt and baking soda to this. Now look at, I'm just gonna put my finger through and get the chunks out of there. Okay, there's a little bit more. Get it all that goodness in there. Now, baking soda, baking powder is going to be, let me see, baking powder, 3 teaspoons. I got my teaspoon in the coffee, so I'm gonna go this way, right? And I will also sift that in there. 1, 2, 3. Baking powder, and I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of baking soda in there. Look, that's why I did it. It has chunks. And that was the last of my dry ingredients. Oh, pinch of salt. I almost forgot. Pinch of salt. It has to have salt. Oh, I have some more flour. And then I'm going to put this in my milk, which is 200 grams of milk, whole milk. If you don't want to use whole milk, use almond milk. Coconut milk. Holy moly, that just went everywhere. See how fast it goes, even on slow. It's okay. We got this covered. This is really it. How simple is this cake? It's going to be so good, so moist, so decadent. Don't overmix it. Look at that, perfection. And then what am I gonna do? I'm just gonna scrape down the bowl. Ooh, my guests are in for a surprise tonight. I have such yummy food. The other thing about doing live right before I have a dinner party is that my guests get to kind of peek at what I'm cooking. So usually when I'm entertaining, I will not go live. I'll do a little clippets of stories, but I don't go live because I don't want people to know what I'm making. But tonight I had to make this chocolate cake and I had to post it for you guys so they get to see what's for dessert. This is not a brownie chocolate cake. This is really flaky. Oh my gosh, it's so good. All right, that's it, that's done. Good Lord, how quick was that? 10 minutes was the whole darn thing. And I was yapping away with you guys, right? I'll go live with you guys in a minute, my lovies. Give me a second. Let me just put this in the oven because I want it to come out. Because I'm making it into a roll, I want it to come out and cool off so I can serve it. Chocolate roll. Kind of like a Christmas log, if you wish. God, I love when I experiment in the kitchen and I go, oh, and I have an aha moment. All right. Move this baby out of the way. Plain cookie sheet. Do nothing to it. Take parchment paper. If your parchment paper agrees with you, place it in your cookie sheet and literally just run your nails through the sides just so it stands in place. And then what I like to do, and you don't even have to do this, I like to spritz it a little with this baking spray. Mine is butter, baking flour. It needs flour. So pretty, Giselle Belly. Okay, and just pour. Voila. No, aquí tiene. And that's it. Just pour it on the baking sheet and your parchment paper. If you don't want to spray it, you don't have to. It will not get stuck. As long as your parchment paper is bigger, right, then you can just peel it off.
Smells so good.
Smells divine. God, this cake, ahora yo preparo este solo 10 minutos, 10 minutes only. That's it, finito.
Don't we take it?
Voila, you want to take that. You can't have some, Joe Bear.
I just want to lick it.
You want to lick it, I know. Okay, ready? Wait, let me get all that goodness out.
No.
She wants me to say that.
Thing with me is I don't like
She doesn't like cake, but she likes cake batter.
batters. So
Interesting. Here, baby. There she goes. All right, here's what you do. You just smooth it out. Okay, you're not going to kill it. Just smooth it out. It'll pop up. It has the baking soda and baking powder. Get it to the edges. You know, before when I was younger, I knew I was pregnant because my tongue would act funny somehow. Trust me, I'm not pregnant. But my tongue is being weird. I think I'm just tired. I didn't sleep well last night. All right. Here we go. You know what I like to do? I like to clean the spoon. Do not DM me. I have an OCD. I hate wasting. There, that's it. Voila. Now it goes in the oven. This is the same batter as your cake batter. So if your cake batter or your cake direction says, any cake direction you have, it says to you 50 minutes, 55 minutes, this is different. This is a flat sheet. This will cook in about 15 to 20 minutes, 350. Keep an eye on it. I don't like to insert anything in it, but if that's your way of figuring out if it's cooked or not, feel free to do so. I just kind of feel the middle, and if it's not bouncy and firm, just moist on the center, I turn it off. I leave the door open in the oven, and I kind of pull out the rack, and I just let it sit there for about 5 minutes. Then I take it out. So this baby is going to go in the oven for about, I will put the timer at 16 minutes, believe it or not. Sometimes if I smell it beforehand in the house, the aroma, I go, oh, I gotta check on my cake. I will put the timer at 16 minutes, and then I'll check it. It might take 17 minutes. It might be done in 15 minutes. So then I'll take it out, and I'll come back and show you guys how I roll it. I'll just put some powdered sugar, a kitchen cloth over it, and I'll roll it into a roll and take this off. It's super simple. I'm going to put this in the oven. Keep an eye on me. My YouTube friends, thank you for watching, and come back for Class and Coco. Quiet. Thank you. Make sure you hit subscribe and notifications so you know when I go live. Ooh, let's end this stream.